Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to give you guys an updated plant tour. You all have been asking, especially people on TikTok have been asking for a plant tour, and there are too many to fit into a TikTok video. So we are going to go around the house and we're going to do an updated one because there are a lot more than there were last time I did one, and also all of the ones from before have grown up. So I am going to walk you around. Seth is my cameraman. And we're just gonna look at everything. But first, don't forget to subscribe, pretty please. Okay, so we're gonna start over here. This is the office area of our bedroom. First, we have our little Philodendron Xanadu. He's seen some bad days, but he's doing pretty great as long as I don't move him from like this area. This is my lemon lime Peperomia. This guy's pretty great. Had him for a long time. He's like tripled in size, but he is the lowest maintenance because he has these thick waxy leaves. So like if I forget to water him, he's fine. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this one is. I Googled it when I bought it, but I got it from Harmon's, and they don't label their plants unless they're like very like distinct plants. So I thought this was a relative to the angel vine, but it is not. And unfortunately, I don't remember. So a lot of people on TikTok ask me about how to style their plants or how I style my plants specifically, mostly because we are in like a fair-sized apartment, but we don't have like a ton of space. So my answer is shelves, as many of them as possible. I got this one from Hobby Lobby. At least I think Seth got it from Hobby Lobby. He's nodding his head yes. So over here, first we have this little angel vine. This is my third angel vine because I've murdered the last two. So thoughts and prayers, because I love her and I don't want her to die. I have to water it like twice a week to keep it happy. Then we have this little guy. This is an air plant. He's fine. Well, air plants are pretty easy. I don't know what kind. This was a gift. Then up here we have our marble queen, Pothos. She's doing great. She hasn't gotten that much bigger since I got her, but I'm not complaining because she's really pretty. This plant is one of those most dramatic plants I own. This is my Goldest Croton, and as you can tell, he's unhappy with me. He is a toddler throwing a massive tantrum. He's got all these. He got spider mites about a month or two ago, and is fully recovered from the spider mites. However, immediately after recovering, decided that he no longer liked the spot in the window that he used to sit right here. And he decided he hated that spot all of a sudden after 10 months of thriving there. So I moved him in an attempt to help him calm down, and it seems to be working. And the last one over here is just a golden pothos. This was a little tiny cutting. I think it started out with 4 leaves or 2 leaves in June or July, and amazing. So 10 out of 10 recommend a pothos if you're looking for something fast and easy that will fill up your space. This is my variegated rubber tree. The pot is thrifted and I just painted it. Yeah, it's doing great. I have not had any issues with him like ever. So yeah, I get a new leaf like once a month, so no complaints. So then on this side of the bed, we have a burgundy rubber tree. It probably needs a new pot at this point. It's gotten very tall. Seth said that he was sitting in bed the other night and looked over and it was the same height as him sitting down. So it's probably time for a bigger pot. And then, don't tell the other plants, but this one is my favorite. This is my Audrey ficus. Not technically a rare plant, but I've always had a hard time like locating them. There's only one seller in the US that I know that sells them. But like seriously one of my favorites. So pretty. The leaves are all velvety. She's got curly leaves because I have been bad at watering on a consistent schedule. Normally she wouldn't look like this. Okay, and then our last plant in the bedroom is my bird of paradise. I believe it's a white one, but I'm not sure because I've never had a flower on it because it's a relatively new addition to the family, but I've been wanting one of these for like 2 years, so I'm so glad that I finally got one. Shout out to our friend Brayton for buying me one from IKEA. Welcome to my kitchen. We have a Zanzibar.
Is that how you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? Okay, this is my ZZ plant. I keep him in my kitchen. I would say that I have not low light in my kitchen. I'd say I have medium light just because we have such big windows in our living space. He just lives over here. Okay, so again with the shelves. So up here, this is also from Hobby Lobby. We have a parlor palm. This is my coffee plant. It probably will never make enough coffee beans for me to make a cup of coffee out of, but that's still fun. This is a silver pothos that I got from a cutting from my friend. This is a trailing jade, also a fun little plant cutting trade. And then this is my umbrella tree. I bet you could guess is cutting from a trade. And then if we come down here, this is my Birkin. I have wanted to try to propagate it, but I don't know how. I think that it's one of those plants like a pilea that like sprouts off babies, but it hasn't done that yet. So I guess we'll see. And then next to my Birkin is of course my pilea. She's grown so much since I got her. When I got her, she was the size of one of these little babies that's growing inside there. I've got 4 sets of babies in there. And I recently just pulled out 7 like a month ago. So sprouting babies like nobody's business, so big, thriving. The only downside to its condition is rosin. This is my Photonia, or a nerve plant. More dramatic than my Croton, but only for short periods of times. It gets dramatic, I give it a water, and then it's fine. This is a jar of dirt. My baby plucked all the leaves off of it, but I know that there was new growth by the roots, so I'm continuing to water it in hopes that something comes out of it. It was a Peperomia cutting. And then we move over here. This is one of my 2 Monsteras. Got 2 rows of fenestration, and then I use bamboo poles to help them climb rather than moss poles, just because it's personal preference. This is my wandering dude. So hardy, grows like a weed. I swear he was like only this big when I got him a few months ago. And then we have my other Monstera over here. This is gonna be a good leaf, I can tell, and I am so excited about that leaf. Then over here on my coffee table, this is my prayer plant. He used to live, he had a macrame hanger in our bedroom, but he started looking really sad, and I realized that he does not like to have a fan on him. Like, that constant breeze really bothers him, and we always sleep with a fan on in our bedroom. So I moved him out here with the intention of putting him in one of the kids' rooms, hanging up, and just haven't. So I think he'll just probably permanently stay on the coffee table. Good old money tree. He's growing. I've had him for about a year almost, I think, and he's doing great. I don't really have a lot to say about him. He's a very low maintenance plant for me, and is like constantly shooting out new growth. This is my favorite feature of our entire apartment and my plant collection, and it's simply because of these windows. I have my heartleaf philodendron and my golden pothos up in these windows. When I got them, they were both really small plants. I've propagated both of them like probably close to a dozen times, and they are just always, they're gonna outgrow these windows in like 4 months, I swear. They're like so big and wonderful, and I love them. So this little guy is one of those cactuses that's actually 2 different cactuses glued together, which I didn't know was a thing when I got it, but they don't naturally flower like that. Mine has stayed alive an impressive amount of time. Normally cacti like this don't last very long because it's not natural, but I've had this guy for what, 3, 4 years probably. I water it probably like once every 6 months. I'm so bad at remembering to water him. He probably deserves a better home, if I'm being honest. But he just hangs up here on the wall. Okay, and then another shelf that's almost completely dedicated to my plants. So we'll start at the top. This is my Philodendron Brasil. Very beautiful, vining, kind of a much slower grower than my other philodendron, like my heartleaf. This is a, I believe, a Rana Verde Peperomia. It's a type of Peperomia. Again, it was not labeled when I bought it, so I like had to do some research, but I'm pretty sure that's what this one is. It probably needs a new pot. It's like tripled in size since I bought it in like April or May or something. So he probably needs a new pot soon. This is my arrowhead. We've seen some dark times, me and this guy. I have brought him back from the brink of death probably 2 or 3 times, which is ridiculous because they're supposed to be relatively low maintenance plants, but he gives me so much grief sometimes. Then over here, we have my Pothos Joy, a relatively easy to care for plant. Definitely also a slower grower than my golden pothos, but still like just as easy to care for. This is the gem of my collection. This is my Thai Constellation Monstera. One of my favorite things about this guy, so when I got him in February. He only had these first 2 leaves. I'm gonna show you like, so size, right? This is the size of the 2 leaves. He did not grow another leaf until this summer. Now he has these 2, and look how much bigger these leaves are. Like, especially this guy, he's like a monster. Very slow growing, like in comparison to my other Monsteras. It probably knows that it was very expensive and wants me to have to work for it. This is my Norwegian Pine. This is another plant I have brought back from the brink of death. I was overwatering it and it got root rot at the beginning of this year, but he is back and better than ever because I just trimmed off all of his dead pieces a few days ago. Contrary to what everyone else in the world says about their Fiddle Leaf Figs, he has almost never given me problems. Like, he is one of the lower maintenance plants that I have, and I think it's just because we have such good bright indirect light in this room. So catch me eating my own words when we move out of this place inevitably. But yeah, I feel like it's a rite of passage. You have to have a Fiddle Leaf Fig. Last but not least, we have my snake plant. He has gone through a beating recently. It is Rosen's favorite plant to pull apart and dig around in. I will constantly find pieces of dried up sandwich in the pot and the basket, which is fun. This specific little guy has been ripped out of the pot like 5 times, and I keep putting him back in, and he's surviving, but I feel really, really bad about it. And I'm just noticing that I have new growth, which I have not noticed new growth on this guy. Look, right there. I have not had new growth on him since I got him. Like a full, I think the last time I experienced growth on him was like December of last year. He like grew another stalk off of him, but other than that, I haven't had any new growth since I got him over a year ago. So that's really exciting. A handful of other plants in the boys' rooms, but most of them are just plant cuttings. Like, they each have, you know, some pothos, some prayer plant, succulents, things like that. So they're all just cuttings off of my plants. So I'm not gonna take you in there and show them that as well. But yeah, those are my current plants and kind of how I style them. And yeah, that's all. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel and let me know if there are any specific plants that you want videos on.